Hawks21 here, back with another Splinterlands video. So I know at the gold level I've shown a lot of water and sort of kitty lineups, but today I ended up getting a life quest that I decided to play, and a couple interesting battles that I wanted to show you guys, going against some of the top summoners in the game right now. This first two of them are poison rule sets, which I think the life squad has a pretty good ability to handle at these high levels, specifically gold, because that's where these battles are at. And so I just want to walk you through three battles. So this is one of the poison ones. Let me just get the battle started so we can see all the mana in the rule sets. Okay, so pretty high mana. Melee can attack from anywhere. But one thing I want you to look at with this is they have a ton of damage over here, right? Like way more of a damage output than I do, right? Like I have 12 every other turn. I have 3, which is going to get nerfed to 2. And then he puts out 5 damage a turn, which is great. But here we have 8 damage a turn, 12, 14, 16, 19, 23 damage, right? Compared to, what I was saying. So they have a huge damage advantage. But in this poison rule set, I want you to pay attention to the HP, right? I brought this triage, right? But they brought 2 triages. But the difference is their HP of their monsters is so low that the triages don't make as big of an impact, right? Like we have a 7, a 3, a 4, and a 6, right? Where I have an 8. 6 is my lowest, right? And then I have an 8, a 9, and then 3 massive guys. And Uriel is going to be healing himself, so he won't necessarily take the triage all the time. And then he doesn't even get poisoned. So I'm basically, even though I'm not doing a lot of attack, I'm able to outlast my opponents, which you will see. Let's get into the video. And the Uriel doesn't even do much from an attacking standpoint, right? Like, if I told you I'd won this battle, and I bring the strength in, which also helps with the healing. You'll see the Uriel only lands 1 attack, and it ends up being for 2 damage. So he wasn't even a big part of this. So they do get some triages to keep the slip spawn alive, which was very helpful for them. But I just have too much AP once the poison starts hitting. Like they're not triaging enough each round when they do triage a monster to make up for all of them taking damage, where I am. So I did waste a triage there on the Uriel. I wasn't sure if I was going to do that. So yeah, there was that 12 hit. But you'll see, Uriel actually gets wiped out pretty quickly. He takes 2 hits from the grunt here because of the trample. And then magic is Uriel's kryptonite and just kind of mows him down. So I'm still at a huge damage disadvantage, but again, it's the HP. Right now they're going to lose one of their triages. And the additional damage that General Sloan is giving to the Warchang is very helpful. Yeah, poison just starts whittling away at their team. They have no more triages. And look at the health of these guys. They're all like diminished, but my triages are healing for more HP each round than the poison is doing. So if they're not taking a lot of damage, from their monsters, I'm just maintaining health while they're losing it. So yeah, we can see we just outlast them even though we weren't doing that much damage. It's not like this was a very cheesy play. This summoner right now is like a little over $2. Very cheap. This wasn't even the most impressive win. Let's go to the next one. This is against a Yodin, right? So this is, depending on when you look, it's either the most expensive or the second most expensive summoner in the game. And this is the cheapest. So just to talk about this lineup a little bit, this is another poison rule set. I'll pause it once it pops up. High 99 mana. So similar situation, except I brought a cleanse this time because melee couldn't attack from anywhere. So I wanted to keep the Uriel from getting poisoned and keep it alive for as long as possible. And I knew they were going to go Yodin because they went Yodin every single time. So I put the Alamo. 1, it doesn't take poison damage because of the immunity, and it has the return fire. So I wanted it throwing it back at them. Same thing with the Jin. Great poison monster because it gives the strengthen to everyone and has the triage. I brought another triage monster this time, and then again the Warrior of Peace to nerf with the headwinds to nerf the range of my opponent. But the Uriel plays a bigger factor here, and getting him cleansed was very helpful. So yeah, I mean, there's a huge discrepancy in cost of summoner, right? 6 of these, you know, you put it at like $500, which I think is what it's around. It's a lot of money. It's $3,000, right? This is nowhere closest to that. $2 per BCX. I think it's 60 to be at this level. That's $120. And I'm beating a Yodin in the right rule set with the right cards. Maybe there's something to this life team that I wasn't considering before. I got the daily quest pretty easily. Here we go. That was a big hit to get rid of the cube, which is one of the cheesiest monsters in poison rule sets. We lose one of the triages, but again, the life team just maintains so much health, and their back line slowly gets whittled away, even with all the damage they're doing blast. You know, it definitely helps that the Alamo is tossing it right back at them. I was very impressed with the Life Sprinter. I might start skipping it a little bit less this time. Mainly this Jin Renova card was super useful to me. And we got a couple poison rule sets and I used it every single time. The triage is awesome. But yeah, just took down a Yodin with a two summoner, a $2 cost summoner. Pretty crazy. And then one more to show you. This is not a poison one, and this uses some more neutral cards. But just, you know, Mylor, another extremely expensive rare summoner. I believe, yeah, it's the most expensive rare summoner by a large margin. And this is to show that, you know, it's a good alternative when you know you don't want to play. They played a lot of Mylor, this sort of similar gold lineup, so I knew I didn't want any melee. And I saw that they had a Flesh Golem, and to be completely honest, I thought it was a level that had Void. I must have miscounted. But I thought this was going to have Void, so I also kind of wanted to avoid magic. I did toss some magic in there, but it was mainly for other purposes. You know, this is the neutral healer. Tortesian Chief is a card I just picked up that I'll talk about in my next investing video. But awesome to have a neutral healer because then I can bust out the double heal. And then Dr. Blight is just Dr. Blight. But the main thing here, right, is I'm doing a pretty good amount of archery damage without going full archery. And it lets me avoid having to play melee against Mylor. And when I thought that there was going to be Void monsters, I don't have to like fully focus on magic either, right? It gives me an alternative. And the other thing I want to point out before we start is look at the mana cost of this lineup, right? The Onyx Sentinel 5, first of all, Onyx Sentinel I think is a fantastic card. It's slowly ticking up in price. It gives you almost everything the Lord Arianth does for a fraction of the cost from a dollar standpoint. So I would check out this card if you have some, you know, laying around and you want a low mana, really powerful defensive tank. But 5 mana, 0 mana, 5 mana, 6 mana is my highest, and it's my main damage dealer. 4 mana and 4 mana. So it's all like mid-mana cards that I'm using for this lineup. Let's run it. And the Pelacor Arbalest is particularly powerful in the Equalizer rule set. And the Onyx Sentinel just absolutely goes to work with the heals too. Unfortunately, with the Opportunity rule set, my Tortesian Chief gets targeted once it gets the reflect damage. So it'll get wiped away. If I had the double heal on the Sentinel the whole entire time, that would have been amazing. But I don't. It doesn't stay that way. Yeah, now they're going to go after my Fiend because it took Thorns damage, because Opportunity it can attack from anywhere. But then after that, it just has to sort of fire at my Onyx Sentinel. And my ranged monsters in the back are just going to do a ton of damage. You know, this goes, obviously, like, I have a bunch of optionality in my deck. Like, I have leveled up cards in each Splinter, which I know isn't everyone's situation. You know, but these kind of show, based on specific rule sets, you don't need the most expensive cards in the game, right? Like, Dr. Blight is obviously really expensive, but other than that, a lot of the cards that I'm using in this video are pretty, you know, they're not crazy, right? They're not free, certainly not. You know, there's definitely a cost to them because they're really great cards. But you know, I don't need the $3,000 Yodin to win matches, right? I can use the $2 General Sloan with the right cards around it. So yeah, easy win. That would be nice to bring you guys some non-kitty, non-water content. And you know, I had some success with life this morning, so I wanted to show it off to you guys. That's it for me for today. Hope you guys are having a great day. If you enjoyed the content or learned anything new, I'd really appreciate it if you can like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.